Get your weapons ready, kiss the ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Fight the war. Fight the war. Oh, who cares why we're fighting? It's about the fight. Let the writers writing settle wrong from right. In the time of conflict, when the bullets fly, in the space of seconds, a life you cannot buy. Face the facts before you, face the simple truth. We're hopelessly outnumbered, it's tragic but it's true. Make your last formation, take the final road. Now it's time for endings, now it's time to go. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war. Souls in the ruins, rubble in the streets, corpses near the buildings, all is light and heat. Time to take a stand, boys, time to make a choice, time to find our courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our oaths complete. All we waited for now, past the future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss the ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm fighting the war a little bit late, but it's okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, what's going on, everyone? Welcome, Arvanauts, to a Tuesday stream. It is March 13th, 2018. I hope everyone is doing well. And I want to start by saying that I am very sorry because we had a switch in schedule sort of last minute due to a series of unavoidable in real life events with some of the players. We just had a bunch of stuff happen all at once. And so since life does sometimes intrude on the fun that we wish to have, annoying life, which is not really nearly as fun as what we should be doing, which is playing games all the time. But because of that, it means that we had to juggle things a bit. And so we have rescheduled the Adventures of Middle-earth session, which was supposed to happen today. That will be happening next Tuesday at the same time at noon Eastern. So not at 1:20, but at noon Eastern. That'll be happening next week. And what was going to be happening next week, which was Lone Wolf, Fire on the Water, will be happening this week instead. So everything is going to get in. We'll do this eventually, but it's just all stuff that we had to, unfortunately, it just is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. So I am sorry about that, but I hope that everyone is looking forward to having some fun with Lone Wolf and getting a chance to actually move forward with this play session that we've been having fun with, because I've really been enjoying it, and I hope you guys have been as well. And as I said, we will be back next week with Adventures of Middle-earth to continue on that vein. A couple of things to remind everybody about ways to support the stream if you haven't done so already. First of all, we are going to be, I want to remind everybody about the YouTube channel, !ArvTube will let you get to the YouTube channel where you can check out past broadcasts of the stream. !ArvCord will get you over to my Discord channel, which is always hopping, and in fact I was on there quite a bit earlier today trying to get some things arranged and squared away. So that'll be happening later on. You can check out the Discord later on if you like. Exclamation point ARV tweets will get you over to my Twitter, where you can check out the Twitter where I made a couple of announcements about the change in plans and change in schedule. Exclamation point ARV shop, ARVSHOP, is what will allow you to support the stream if you want to get some merchandise from Infinity and Beyond, my D&D flagship campaign, which is happening again on this Saturday. You can check that out. We're going to be expanding that shop as well. This is not actually a book reading, Calabac, but welcome in. It's going to be, in fact, a much more elaborate thing than that. It's where you guys will be playing through with me, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. Exclamation point ARVTREON is the way that you can support the channel financially if you want to get some cool stuff for yourself and cool stuff for the channel. You can support us at exclamation point ARVTREON, currently sitting at 554 as we currently speak. And then, of course, we have exclamation point, I think actually I said that already, ARVTREON, and we've got the subsystem, which is the purple sub button right above the window, currently sitting at about 50 subs. Would love to see that expanded over time. You can get stuff that Arvany hype, that get hyped emote, which you can use far and wide across the Twitches, and you can get more stuff like that as time goes on. Absolutely, you can join my Discord. Of course, Genly, of course you could join the Discord. Yes, if you just type in exclamation point ARVCord, that will give you the link. Yes, and I encourage you to do that, Genly. I am a big fan of the Discord now, so definitely you guys should do that. And thank you for the follow, the prompt follow, Calabac. Welcome into the Arvanauts. So, just a quick notice about schedule coming up. So, unfortunately, this is not the only schedule change for today. As I mentioned to all of you last week, I have a dentist appointment that I have to go to at 6 o'clock this afternoon, unfortunately. And that means that because of daylight savings, which I say again is anathema and should be destroyed and repealed and killed forever. But because of daylight savings time, we are currently 2 weeks ahead of Europe on the daylight savings time, which means that I would have to be starting my show for GOG because of the heavy European audience an hour longer. So basically an hour farther on. And so to accommodate that, it means that I would have to basically start at 5, which means that I would get about a half hour in before I'd have to stop and get ready to go off to my dentist appointment. So I'm not going to stream for a half hour. So Pen and Pixels after this, which normally would happen at 4 p.m. Eastern, has been canceled for today. So the only stream today is going to be this one, and that is this Lone Wolf Gamebook. On Friday, we will be back to a normal schedule. Friday evening, I will be back at you with Masters of the Dungeon. We will have the full crew with you for Masters of the Dungeon, so that should be a good time. I'm looking forward to that. And then that's Friday evening. And then on Saturday, we return to Dungeons and Dragons with the Infinity and Beyond crew, continuing with the Rise of Tiamat. I'm very excited about how awesome that campaign has been going. Also excited about the campaign going on with Adventures of Middle-earth, which is going to be continuing next week. So a lot of cool stuff for the channel and a lot of cool stuff for you as well. Yeah, dental savings time, basically. Free dental care is no more for you. Oh, really? Yeah. No, it's... man, I'm not looking forward to it, but I have to do it. And so, yeah. So that's going to be happening later on today. Believe me, I would much rather be playing games than going to the dentist, but it is what it is. So that is the deal with that. And so now you know what we're doing. And so I'm going to get rid of... Let's see, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of my intro scroll, this. And I'm going to turn on, wait for it. This, there we go. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Hope everyone is doing well. It is a snowy, lousy day here in the big city. It is a snowy day in New York City. But as I say, the good thing about the Stoics, if you know anything about Stoic philosophy, one of my favorite sayings of theirs is, "This too shall pass." And so I believe this too shall pass. And I actually had a good time chatting with Amal and Trendane and just chatting with them about stuff not even related to streaming, but actually related to writing and academia and things like that. So it was good to be able to chat with them a little bit, even though it turned out we weren't able to do our session for this week. But next week, we will definitely be back with bells on, so you can definitely check us back next week for Adventures of Middle-earth. But today, we have got the Lone Wolf playthrough continuing with Book 2, Fire on the Water, and with no further ado, let us go there now. Let's do it. Okay, So welcome to Lone Wolf. For those of you who have not done this before, this is the way that we handle things. We basically have been doing a series of Fighting Fantasy Gamebook playthroughs, which are the ones by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone, for a number of years now. But we have taken a break to move over to Lone Wolf because we've really been enjoying Lone Wolf, and also because they have this program called Seventh Sense, which is super awesome and amazing, and I can't say enough good things about it, which makes it so much easier to be able to stream it and do cool stuff with it. But you are going to have the chance to be able to do stuff yourself. The way this works is that we have a bot that we're able to use, and I'm going to introduce you to the bot in just a minute here. Here he comes right now. There he is. That's ArvBot. Everyone say hi to ArvBot. And ArvBot is the person that is the bot that handles our polls for this game. So the way that this works is we actually have a series of polls, and let me pull up that, ding, right there. We have a series of polls like that, I think. Actually, I think I put it like that. Yeah. We have a series of polls. Whenever there is a decision to be made, we have a series of polls that we run, basically, that you guys get to vote on what you should do next, whether you should go forward, backward, left, right, pick up the sword, don't pick up the sword, stuff like that. If there are simple, tiny little decisions, I won't necessarily put it up for a poll, but I usually will for anything that has any kind of real sort of decision-making value and stuff like that. And so ArvBot is going to be our helper when it comes to this. Now, the good thing about the Lone Wolf series, in addition to the fact that I've got this awesome program to run it, is that we're actually able to expand our use of it across books, or basically able to continue our journey across books. And we already finished book 1, which was called Flight from the Dark, and we are now into Fire on the Water. So book 1, Flight from the Dark, basically, to quickly summarize, you are a Kai monk whose name is Lone Wolf, and the Kai lords were basically massacred. The Kai monks were massacred by the Dark Lords, and so you had to set out to find and warn the king. After a lot of stuff, which you can check if you go look at my YouTube channel and find past broadcasts of this stream under my Fighting Fantasy Gamebook playthrough playlist, you were able to meet the king and warned him of the Dark Lord invasion, and that was the end of Flight from the Dark. As book 2 begins in Fire on the Water, we then were ordered by the king that the only way we were going to resist this Dark Lord invasion was if we were able to reclaim the Sommersword, which is a magical sword of great power. So we were escorted by Duval and guards. Duval is this assistant to the king, to the key. We entered an inn to meet Ronan, who was the guy who was supposed to be bringing us to the ship, but we got attacked. We were challenged by a man to prove identity. We found the real Ronan actually dead. We were basically ambushed, but we killed them. We noticed they had these serpent tattoos, and we found the real Ronan dead. We tried to find the imposter, but couldn't do so, and ended up going to the Green Scepter, which was our ship. We met the captain, saw and sailed off. We had a couple of battles here and there, managed to pass some time at sea, eventually found our way to this place called Ragadorn, but just before we were to get to Ragadorn, there was a storm. The mast snapped. We were knocked overboard. We lost our chainmail waistcoat, which sucked. Swam to the land, lost all our backpack items, and ended up finding a wagon. We stopped the coach and rode the coach to the city of Ragadorn, which is where we had been planning to go along that time. Studied the Ragadorn map. We ended up reaching a coach station, talked with some of the coach passengers, and then found that someone was trying to kill us from those coach passengers. They tried to poison us. It turns out one of the passengers also has this serpent tattoo. So one of the passengers was actually an assassin. We managed to kill him, but when we tried to kill him, the guards came out basically to arrest us because we didn't have time to explain that we were trying to kill the guy because he was an assassin and we hate that guy. And so we ended up leaving at that point because the guards were coming to arrest us. After a very eventful escape, which took us a couple times to get right, we finally managed to jump through the window, get onto a horse, and ride into the Duranor forest. And so as we pick up the stream today, we have just managed to escape our, in quotes, crime, by which I mean we actually managed to escape these freaking clowns that were trying to kill us. And so, yeah, we have now managed to escape, and we are on our way. Again, we're trying to basically get to find this magical sword, the Sommersword, and that's basically where things stand. And we're gonna be with you guys here for about 2 hours. I'll be with you guys from 1:30 to 3:30, at which point I'm gonna have to close up shop and start getting ready. But we've got about 2 hours going forward, and now you guys have a recap. Sure, what's up, 5x9? How are you doing, man? So that's the deal with that. Let me just get some music here. Do we have a soundtrack suggestion for today? A video game music soundtrack. I reserve the right to veto it if I've used it before, or if I just, if it doesn't seem appropriate. So someone have a suggestion for a soundtrack that we can use for today? Yeah, full D&D next week. That's true, actually. Adventures of Middle-earth, GOG, Esper, Infinity and Beyond. Wow, you're right, X5. A lot of it. What do we got, people? Give me a soundtrack idea. Stranger Things. No. Video game, though. I need video game. It needs to be video game music soundtrack, Calabac. Not that that's a bad soundtrack. It isn't, but just we need a game one. It needs to be game-related. Give me a game-related soundtrack. And if not, I shall choose one. Going once. Going twice. All right. And then in that case, I actually was really enjoying this soundtrack the other day. Dreaming Sarah's? All right. I have never heard of it, actually. It's okay. I will go back to Fighting Fantasy later on. I'll go back to Final Fantasy later on. Okay, Dreaming Sarah's. All right, let's see what we got. Thanks, Genly. How is the music relative to my voice? Too loud, or is it okay? It was Final Fantasy. Yeah, I was going to be doing Final Fantasy 4, but I can do that later. It's good? Okay, cool. There we go. Lovely. All right. So, here we go, people. Here we go. You spur the horse along the twisting village street, across a wooden bridge, and up a steep path towards the crest of the cove. In the light of the moon, you catch a glimpse of a signpost pointing eastwards. Port Bax, 50 miles. You ride all night without sleep. As the dawn breaks, you are greeted by a startling change of landscape. The barren wildlands have given way to moors and waterlogged fens, and a dark shadow runs the length of the eastern horizon for as far as the eye can see. This is the Duranor Forest, the natural frontier of the mountain kingdom where it borders the untamed wildlands. It is indeed a welcome sight. You are no more than a day's ride from Port Bax, but you are tired after your night ride, and you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. If you have the Kai discipline of hunting, which we do, you may use this skill to trap a wild moor rat or marsh bird for your breakfast. After an hour's ride, you come to a fork in the road. There is no signpost. So, do we want to take the left fork or the right fork? So that'll be our first decision of the day, folks. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here we go. All right, now the way that we vote here... All right, sounds good. See you, Echo. This is the way we do things. $ vote space and then the number. So $ vote space and then the number of the choice you want. Take the left fork is 1, take the right fork is 2. So now you can get in your vote. $ vote space and then either 1 for the left fork or 2 for the right fork. All right. Starting to get some votes here. What's up, Chaotix? How you doing, man? Wow, this is all this is very psychedelic, this music. I like it. I dig it. Okay. You're done for the day. You need brainless entertainment. Book of Unwritten Tales 2. This is a good start. This is a good start, but I will keep that in mind about Book of Unwritten Tales 2. You need brainless entertainment. What are you trying to say, Chaotix? What are you trying to say? I see how it is. I see how it is. Okay. All right, we're going to last call this. Left fork or right fork, people? Last call right here. Last call. And please tweet this out. Please, !CTT. Retweet this stream, please, if you haven't already done so, guys, if you can, and you're on Twitter. Because, again, we had a change in schedule today, so some people are probably going to be like, wait, I thought you were doing Adventures in Middle-earth, which we're doing next Tuesday now because of situations that are unavoidable. What's up, Dragon? I like the groove. This is reminding me... Oh, God, what is this? It's not Journey. Is it reminding me of, Child of Light, maybe? Or maybe, what was that one that, Sword and Sorcery? Was that it? It's reminding me of some soundtrack. I gotcha, Chaotix. That's a bit more engaging, yes. Alright, so, left fork it is. Okay. The road follows a course along a high, grassy ridge for many miles before turning northwards to the coast. You pass a village where the houses curve in a circle around a large pond of stagnant water. As you ride through, a gaggle of Zal children come running towards you, shouting and throwing stones. You descend into the deep valley beyond, and gradually the moor gives way to richer land that has been cleared and plowed. The hillside opposite is heavily wooded. You are not far from the coast, and you can see the tall cliffs with their multicolored bands of rock jutting out into the ocean. Then, just as you are passing through a small copse, you hear desperate cries for help off to your right. Do you wish to aid the people in trouble, or ignore their desperate pleas and continue riding along the road? So, should we do... aid the people? Trouble? And keep riding. All right, here we go. There we go. What's it going to be? Aid the people in trouble or ignore their desperate pleas? Always a good guy. I'm the same way, Genly. I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, I think it'd be really interesting to play an evil character. I write quite a bit about characters that are conflicted. I've had main characters of mine that have killed people in war. I've had main characters of mine that are religious assassins, like my book Greyshade. So I certainly have written about complex characters with whom I have a lot of sympathy. But man, I just, if I'm playing a game, I just always choose the good option because I just can't personally bring myself to be doing something different. Like, do you punch the guy in the face? Like, no, I don't punch the guy in the face. I don't know. I know, right, Jay? I'm getting a good sense of what this game is from this music. Super chill. In real life? Oh, really? Oh, for me, it's because it's not a different story in real life. That's the thing. I just can't... You know, the mixed thing, like the... I could imagine being kind of hard-nosed maybe in a game, but man, the whole, like, you know, nope, kick the baby, hurt the puppy, it's not my bag, man. All right, last call here. Last call. Oh, I see what you're saying, Genly. I vote for kick the puppy. What? You better not let hear... Some people who heard that would be displeased with you, 5. Okay. Let's see. Aid the people in trouble. Okay. You spur your horse through the tangle of trees until you enter a small clearing. 6 Zals are jumping excitedly around the writhing body of a man on the ground. A strangely carved spear is stuck in his chest, and lying dead beside him is the body of a knight of the White Mountain. The creatures are shrieking at each other and appear to be unconcerned with the man's obvious agony. If you have the Kai discipline of healing, which we do, and you want to try to save the man's life, we can do that, or we can attack the Zals. So... quickly replaces the dog with the cat. I'm very displeased. That's funny. Alright, guys. What's it going to be? Use healing and try to save the man's life, or attack the Zals? You know what, Genly? I like this, but I'm afraid this is too chill. I like it, but I think we need something a little more up-tempo. I'm going to go with the Fantasy 4 one, but I'm going to keep the Tales, Unwritten Tales thing for later. But I do like this, and I'm going to come back to it. It just, it doesn't, I don't think it fits what we're trying to do here. Yes, you could change your vote. You can absolutely change your vote. You can just do exclamation point, change vote, space, and then the number you want to change your vote to. So yes, you can absolutely do that. I really like that soundtrack though. It's cool. It's just not the right vibe, but I like it though. All right, so what's it going to be? What's it going to be? We've got a tie here. A couple of you choosing vengeance over trying to heal a man in trouble. I see how it is. Ooh, actually, there's a picture here. I mean, look at this picture. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. I mean... he's writhing in agony. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I've never played... I mean, I have played through the Lone Wolf books, but this is a changed book from... They altered it slightly, so I don't know. And I honestly don't remember at this point. I mean, I played a Lone Wolf book like 25 years ago, this one, so... Oh, for sure. No, I get it, Genly. I actually really like this theme from 4. See, this has kind of that, like, combat feel. I don't know. Yeah, I really like this though, Maze. Like it's the da 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 that I really like. Also the drums. It's a town theme, yeah. It feels like you're prepping for combat though. Like obviously it's not the combat music, but it feels like it. Okay. And we're going to try to heal him. You try to apply your hands to the injured man's chest, but the Zals are pulling at your cloak and trying to drag you away. If you have the Kai discipline of camouflage, we do, During the period of your Kai training, your masters taught you many of the languages and dialects of northern Magnamund, one of which was Zal. The creatures in this clearing are Zals, and they are screaming at you that the wounded man is not a man at all. They say he is a Helghast, a powerful shape-changing servant of the Dark Lords. Wow. If you believe they're telling the truth, check what the man has in his pack. Or do you think the Zals are lying to stop you interfering with their spiteful game? Interesting. So you know their language. Okay, see, we wouldn't have known that if we didn't have camouflage. So... I like this one too. Insight check. Yep. Insight check. See, see, it sounds, I mean, I don't know. You guys can decide what you like, but it sounds legit to me that they're screaming and you hear their language. Because the whole thing sounds a little too obvious to me if it's like, no, beasts, I will save this man, you know? And the thing is, if you check his pack and you see in his pack that it says, I am a human being, please believe me, you know, like, then you'd still have a chance to heal him, you know? Thank God we have camouflage. I don't entirely know why camouflage gives us knowledge of languages, but okay. Alright, I'm gonna last call this since it looks like chat is pretty much like, oh, so, this guy. Yeah, it's true, Genli. I mean, that is a risk, but... Okay, let's check. You search in his pack and are horrified to find that it contains a scroll of human skin upon which a message has been written in a strange runic script. The only word that you can make out is Kai. You also find an evil-looking dagger with a black blade and a block of cold obsidian. These items bear the signs of the Dark Lord's craft. Something is very wrong here. Okay, good. You drop the pack as quickly as if it were red hot and turn to mount your horse. To your dismay, you find it is no longer there. The Sauls must have stolen it. God damn it. So they helped us out, but they stole our horse? The hell is this crap? Wearily, you realize you will now have to continue your journey on foot. Still, though, that was the right call. Otherwise, we would have had to deal with this dude. So, you know, I mean, it still worked out, but that's, you know... Alright, give me just 1 second, guys. I just have to resize this. There we go. Lovely. Just had to resize that so it's fit inside my window. Good. Yeah, no, I mean, that was a good call, I think. You have been walking for nearly 2 hours when you reach the peak of a hill and see the Duranar forest stretched out before you. The road bears eastwards and enters the trees at a point where a large wooden tower has been built. You can see the silhouette of a soldier on guard. Looks like this. That's a silhouette, soldier on guard. Do you wish to continue on your journey towards the watchtower, or would you rather avoid the guard, make a wide detour, and enter the forest further south? Would you like to walk towards the guard and sing, "All along the watchtower"? Here we go. What's it gonna be? Not sure if the theme of love is the right music. Yeah, I have no read on this at all. Because I can see this being a trick, but I can also see if we do this huge detour, all of a sudden we're gonna be making ourselves exhausted, so I have no read on this guy. I have no way to know. This is the welcome to our town music. Welcome to our watchtower. Welcome to our watchtower. You can trust me, I'm a silhouette, silhouette. Oh yes, and I go. Don't go to the forest. I think that's what he was doing. That's the airship music, I know that. A forest is way cooler. Could see that. Ah, we got a tie. What's up, Gemini Smith? Welcome in. So we've got a tie. Continue on journey towards the watchtower, or avoid guard, make wide detour, and enter the forest further south. That tie. All right, we're going to need someone to break this tie. Are we going to continue on the journey or avoid the guard, make a wide detour, and enter the forest further south? What's it going to be? What's up, Ashera? Good afternoon. Ashera, also, I asked you this last time and I didn't see your response. Did you get the message that I sent you via Twitch? You had sent me a whisper and I responded to it. Did you get that whisper that I responded to? I asked you that last time and you may have said yes or no, but I didn't see it because I was occupied looking at other stuff. So I was just curious. You did? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. Ah, thank you, Gemini. Yes, little Final Fantasy IV soundtrack. So we need someone to break this tie, folks. We need somebody to break this tie. And if you want to vote for, if you want to change your vote, you can always do that by doing $change vote, space, and then the number that you want to change your vote to. So you can always do that, but we do need somebody to break the tie. What? You need a space, Ashera. $vote space, and then the number. Alright, there we go. So, we're going to avoid the guard. Like, heck with this guard. You push on through the dense forest for nearly 3 hours before you discover a track heading north, running parallel to the Rhymer Rift, whose rushing waters, there we go, are over 1 mile deep. In the distance, you spot a bridge that spans the dark water at a narrow point. Yeah, very funny, Keanu. A small hut with a flat roof has been erected in the center, on top of which stand 2 soldiers. A sign points across the bridge, port backs. Now, we do not have the Kai discipline of tracking, so do we wish to cross the bridge or avoid it and continue along the path? Do you wish to get a chocobo while doing so? So, bridge or... Alright, here we go. What's it going to be, guys? We're going to cross the bridge or avoid the bridge and continue along the path. Yeah, exactly, Maze. Thanks, guys, for the retweets, by the way. It's a $5 by 9. Exclamation point is for other polls. That's for Arcanusbot, but Arvbot uses $. When we first did this, we actually forgot to do that, so Arvbot and Arcanusbot were arguing with each other all the time. So that's why. Used to be, there was a time when we had 3 different bots in here. We had, actually one time we had Moobot too. So no, not Moobot, Nightbot. So we had Nightbot, Arcanus Bot, Arvbot, and we had Cambridge Bot. And now we've reduced it to just Arcanus Bot and Arvbot. And Arvbot is only here for Lone Wolf stuff and for Fighting Fantasy Gamebook, so. This, I think, is... let me see. No, this is Into the Darkness. This is Into the Darkness, which is in Final Fantasy IV. This is Fight 2, coming up right here. Really good combat music. I forgot how good this soundtrack was. It's actually boss music, I think. That's right, that's right. Yep. I get it mixed up a little bit with the music from Final Fantasy VI, but... this is where you fight, oh god, yeah, you fight some... I forget which boss this is when you first see this, but... that bass line. Alright, last call. And close poll, close poll, close poll, close poll, close poll, close poll. Yeah, well, I think it was the first one is the thing. Like, it's the first fight. The first boss fight, anyway, that I remember. Ring of Bong. Okay, so we are avoiding the bridge and we are continuing along the path. Let's do it. You have walked less than 100 yards when the track disappears over the edge of a precipice towards the deep waters of the Reimer Rift below. It is impossible to go on any further in this direction. You will have to return along the path and cross the river at the bridge. Darn it. The soldiers quickly descend from the roof of the hut and grab their spears. They advance towards you and one of them shouts, "Password, stranger!" You must have learned the password, i.e. have read section 15 during the same adventure, not only during a previous reading in order to use it. I'm pretty sure we haven't. The guards look angry and ready to attack. You will have to think of something quickly. Now, we do have the Seal of Hammerdal, so we can offer them a bribe. We could show them the Seal of Hammerdal, which we do have. We still have the seal. Or attack them. So... or attack. Okay, here we go. Poll is now up. So we do have the Seal of Hammerdal, and in fact the seal... and there is the Seal of Hammerdal right there. The ring was given you by the king to aid in your quest to obtain the Summer Sword. This is what I mean about this program. There's so much attention to detail that just... I didn't even know you could just hover your arrow over it and it would pop up a little picture of what the seal actually looks like. Like, how sweet is that? I really, really love this program. I really want this program to be made for Fighting Fantasy Gamebooks. Please. This is so awesome. It does everything. It, like, it manages things. It's so cool. It's called Seventh Sense, Genly, and by the way, it is available to anybody. You can get it for free, and you can download the books for free, although, because they have them set up that way, although what I do, I mean, I own these books anyway, so you can get them, but Joe Deaver, who just passed away, I believe, last year, unfortunately, who was the author, made these freely available. So if you go to a website called Project Aeon, which I think is A-E-O-N, you can find this and download it. It's a little bit manual. There used to be a thing in there where you could download the books through the program, but that doesn't work anymore. So you just have to go get the books manually. But they have a link right on the site to it. It's all legal. And it's called Seventh Sense. It's really cool. Really cool. And they have a bunch of the games, a bunch of the books sort of tied into it. So it's really neat. Okay, so it looks like we are in pretty good shape with this. I'm going to last call this. It keeps track of everything. It really is useful for streaming. We've even got a Saul spear. Nice. Look at that. Like I really did not even... Here, let me show you. I did not realize you could do this. Fine broadsword is wrought of Duranese steel. Spears of Saul workmanship. Shield will boost your combat skill. It is so cool. Oh, man. It's not like none of these things are big things. It's just attention to detail. Last call. All right, so show him the seal of Hammerdal. Show him the badge. Okay. Both guards stare at the seal in awe. This is guards staring at things in awe. The legend of the seal of Hammerdal is well known to all of the people of Duranor. It is said that of all the lost treasures of Duranor, the seal of Hammerdal is the one they would not wish returned. The anxious faces of the two guards show they clearly realize its significance. One of the guards escorts you across the Rima Rift and along a forest road that eventually ends at a junction. A signpost points to the east. Port Bax, 3 miles. I must leave you now and return to the Rima Rift. I fear that war will soon cast its black shadow upon this land, and I shall be needed at the border. Godspeed to you, Somlending. Godspeed. You watch for a few minutes as the soldier returns along the forest track before you set off eastwards. You should arrive in Port Bax within the hour. Alright, we are going to save this here, because I think we've done pretty well. Okay. At dusk on the 10th day of your quest, you experience your first sight of the magnificent city of Port Bax. And let me show you guys actually another cool thing that you have here. Let me show you guys what the Port Bax is. Okay, so... Whoops, nope, darn it. There we go. So if you guys look over to the east, you can see right around here where my mouse cursor is going, you can see Port Bax. So we started out over here at the Kai Monastery. Book 1, we traveled to Holmgard. In Book 2, so far, we sailed up here, came back this way, crashed, but then managed to get a wagon into Ragadorn, traveled on further, and then this was the spot where we ended up going off to travel, and then eventually went through the forest this way, like basically around this way, came back up here, and now we're entering Port Bax. We're trying to get here, which is Hammerdal, which is the capital, and it looks like through those mountains it's not going to be easy to get there. But we need to get there because they're the ones who have information about the Sommerswerd, so that's why we're going to that place. Thank you very much, Gemini Smith. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Hope to see you back here again for other things as well. Thank you so much. A lot of D&D and do a lot of role-playing on my channel, so if you dig this kind of thing, there's a lot more of that. Although not as much with chat input, but there is chat input on a lot of other stuff we do as well. Yeah, really efficient. I know, right, Chaotix? Like a diamond set in the green velvet shore, the towers of the city glimmer in the pale light of a waxing moon. To the north is the harbor and the formidable war fleet of the Duranese navy. To the east, beyond the moss-covered city wall, stretches the forest of Duranor. And there, on the crest of a hill, stands a castle, tall and proud, the crowning glory of this beautiful port. Sorry, responding to a quick message. Cool. Okay. You enter Port Bax through an unguarded gate in the green city wall. What? They just have unguarded gates? What the hell's wrong with this city? And make your way through the darkening streets towards the harbor. As you turn into a tree-lined avenue, you notice the wide stone steps of a domed building to your right. You stop to read the brass plaque, City Hall. Despite the late hour, the main doors are open. Again, we do not have the Kai discipline of tracking, unfortunately. So, do we wish to enter the City Hall or continue on our way towards the harbor? This is the music for making that decision. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So we're here in Portbacks. What should we do? We are tired. What should we do, Chad? What should we do? Because we are tired. Oh, tell me, Chad. Somebody likes listening to some Bach. Gold Bezek Cloud in the Dark. All right, last call, last call. Break it down. Hey, Sid. Clearly what the soundtrack needed was a little bit of beatboxing. I think we can all agree with that. Okay. Enter the city hall it is. Just inside the main door sits a kindly old man with a long beard. He is studying a huge leather-bound book that rests on a lectern before him. He has not noticed you enter the city hall. Do you wish to ask him the way to the consulate of Summerland, or leave and try to find your own way there? All right. Castlevania soundtrack. Well, when we get through this soundtrack, I will switch over to that. I'll switch over to Castlevania. Maybe I'll do some Simon's Quest. Little Simon's Quest soundtrack. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Let's bother the old man. Old man! Woman! Oh, woman, sorry. I did say sorry about the old woman, but from behind you... What I object to is that you automatically treat me like an inferior. Well, I am king. Oh, king, eh? Very nice. You find the soundtrack distracting? I don't know, Chaotix. I mean, I can turn it down a bit, but... I think people would not find it interesting to have no music at all behind it, to be honest with you. But I will drop it a little bit in volume. Alright, so we've got leave and try to find our way there, and we've got asking the way to the consulate. What about everyone else? We need some other votes, folks. We must make a collective decision. This is the, do we... Oh, this music, not music in general. I see. Okay, gotcha. Alright, well, we'll see if that continues. We might be able to switch over to, like, some Simon's Quest if need be. Okay, we're all tied up here. Alright, now we're asking the way, or leaving and trying to find our way there. Those are our two options that were tied up. Alright, Maze has got a vote in there, so we're going to last call it here. Alright. Going once, going twice. Oh, sorry, I didn't have the poll listing up there. Sorry about that. Alright, going once, going twice. Alright. So, we will ask him the way. I want you to show us the way. The Consulate of Sommerland, he says in surprise, somewhat taken aback by her sudden appearance. Then recovering himself, he says, Oh, why, of course. It is in Allen Square, near the harbor. Turn right when you leave, and right again at the end of the avenue. That will take you to the Red Gate. You'll need a red pass to enter, as the consulate is in the naval quadrant of the city. It's a restricted area. You ask the man how you can obtain a red pass. From the captain of the Port Watch, he says. You're obviously a stranger to Port Bax. There are few indeed that do not know the answer to that question. The Port Watchtower is at the end of the avenue, just as you turn for the Red Gate. You thank the old man and leave the city hall. Okay, so here we go. So this is what we're doing, guys. Okay, just let's be clear. Make sure we get this all down. Although I think it's actually going to be listed under our notes, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. So we have to turn right when we leave, right again at the end of the avenue. Then we need to, at the end of the avenue, right as we're about to turn, we have to go to the watchtower and get a red pass. Then we take a right and turn for the Red Gate. So we take a right out of the city hall, and then right again. Actually, we take a right at the end of the city hall. When you get to the end of the avenue, we go to the Port Watchtower, and then we take a right again to go to the Red Gate. At the end of the avenue, the cobbled street turns abruptly to the right. Opposite this point is a tall white stone building with a plaque above the door. Port Watchtower, Harbor Authority. You can see that the cobbled street ends at a high stone wall. There is a large red gate in this wall and it is guarded by 2 soldiers. Beyond the gate, you can make out the mass of ships moored in the harbor. Okay, well, I'm not going to ask for, since we already know about the deal with this, we have to enter the Port Watchtower, so I'm not going to ask for a vote on this one. You are standing in a large empty hall. Opposite are 2 doors, each with a brass sign above them. Do you wish to enter the door marked white passes, the door marked red passes, or leave and approach the guards? Should we do? Whoops. Man. Red passes. There we go. All right, this and this and this, and let's do it this way. Okay, so there we go. Enter the door marked the white passes, enter the door marked red passes, or leave and approach guards at the end of the street. And you guys should know this, having paid some attention, I hope, to what we were just doing. So hopefully you guys will remember what we're supposed to do. So there we go. Vote is up. What's it going to be, folks? What? What's it gonna be, guys? Someone was not paying attention, perhaps, to the previous readings. Well, if you remember what the guy at the city hall told us. The city hall guy told us what we needed to do to get through that red gate. The city hall guy told us what to do. It's a $. Oh, you want to change your vote? He did say to go to red passes. That's true. The city hall guy did tell you that you needed to get a red pass. The city hall guy did say that you needed a red pass. That is true. That is, in fact, what the city hall guy dude said. No, I mean, you need a pass. You need to get a pass. So... What? Enter door marked white passes. Tie hype. Hello? Yeah, it's thrilling. It's $ change vote, all one word, space, and then the number you want to change your vote to. All right, I'm going to last call this. No, this room is where you get a red pass. This room is where I'm positive this room is where you would actually get a red pass, Genly. This is not where you would need a red pass to get in here. You need a pass to get past the gate. So, all right. All right. All right, you guys are sure? We could take these guards. No. This is not the door that requires one. Hey, baby. Hi, baby. Come up. We have been joined by my son. Hey. This is Mini Arv. What do you think? Use the baby on the guards. He definitely has the cuteness factor that would make that happen. It's $ change vote space 2. Use the baby on the guards. No. He said He's like, I'm like, should we use you on the guards? He's like, nope. All right. We're going to close this poll and enter door marked red passes. Let's see. You enter a large room full of ledgers and files. Huh? A man wearing the uniform of a Duranese naval officer is seated opposite at a large desk. He peers at you inquisitively from behind a huge book and says, "You must have pressing business in the naval quadrant to apply for a red pass at this late hour. I shall need to see your access papers and proof of your commanding officer's authorizations. If you have the necessary papers, you only have the option of not showing them if you have the seal of Hammerdall." Well, this is easy. Whoa, easy, baby. Don't want to pull the mic down, my love. So, we have to show him the seal of Hammerdall because we don't have any documents. So, the man stares at the seal with a look of shocked dismay. Without saying a word, he gets up from his chair and beckons you to follow him up a flight of spiral stairs that lead to a domed chamber. Here you meet the captain of the port watch. He listens intently as you tell of the war in Sommerland and of your urgent mission. Yeah. Heavy boy. Yeah. Yeah, there they are. That's right. That's right, it was over there. That was a quick cameo by Mini Arv. Okay. Issue a red pass immediately, he orders. Top priority. You collect your pass, leave the port watchtower, and hurry along the street toward the harbor guards. Okay, no, wait a second now. I have to fix this thing, because I don't know what he just did to my microphone. What did you do to my mic? Oh my goodness, what? Hang on a second, guys. Oh, I see what he did. Hang on just a second. got a bit of a scenario here, so just give me a moment. This is a very kind of like, it's a shock mount, and if you remove parts of the, if you like move the shock mount, then all of the rubber band stuff gets moved, and that's unfortunate. He fixed it, yeah. There we go. Test 2-2. There we go. Fortunately, just a little bit of extra work for my son. Okay, collect your pass. Yeah, we got a red pass. Okay, grants you access to the naval quadrant. Here we go. One of the guards steps forward and demands to see your pass. I do have a red pass. The soldier salutes and allows you to pass through the red gate. You walk into an open square lit by the tall beacons lining the quayside. To your relief, you sight the marble pillars of the Sommerland consulate and the familiar sun flag of your country flying above it in the fresh night breeze. Sommerland. For Sommerland. This is Sommerland. As you climb the stone steps, you are recognized by the Somlanding guards on duty at the main door. They disappear inside and quickly return in the company of a tall, gray-haired official. His anguished expression suddenly changes to a smile of joy as he beholds your ragged Kai cloak and tunic. Hope beyond hope! Thank the gods that you live, Kai Lord. The scant news that has reached us from the west has caused us great alarm. You are ushered inside and taken immediately to the envoy of Sommerland, Lord Lieutenant Rygar. Rygar! Guys, it's Rygar! Outstanding, Rygar. Your first meeting with the Lord Lieutenant comes as something of a shock. You had perhaps half expected him to be a servile old man, as are the envoys of the southern lands that plague your king's court with their delegations. The man clad in heavy chainmail standing before you is neither old nor servile. What's up, BMC? You are soon to learn that Lord Lieutenant Rygar is an exceptional man. Born of a Somlanding father and a Duranese mother, he has become something of a legend in this city. In the last decade, he has led an alliance of the nations to victory against the invading ice barbarians of Kalta. Wise in peace, fierce in war, you could not have wished for better company on your quest for the Sommerswerd. Rygar orders that a sumptuous meal be served. It is by far the best food you have tasted since the war began. During the feast, you recall the events that have brought you to Port Bax and reflect on the daunting challenge that still lies before you. After the meal, Rygar sends for his physician who attends to your wounds. His potions restore 6 endurance points, although we were maxed out anyway. Then he advises you to sleep, for you are to leave the Lord Lieutenant for Hammerdal in the morning. You don't have a backpack? Okay, we do. Early next day, you are taken to an enclosed garden at the rear of the consulate where Rygar and 3 of his best soldiers await you on horseback. They are to be your bodyguard and guides on the 230-mile ride to Hammerdal. The streets of Port Bax are just beginning to come to life as you ride through the town. Passing under the moss-covered city gate, you now feel confident that your mission will succeed. So confident that you save your game. Okay. Pick a number from the random number table. Let's see what we get. 5. Okay. For 3 days and nights, you have followed the highway to the capital as it runs parallel to the river Duranon. The river valley is a wide belt of rich, cultivated land that climbs towards the Hammerdal Mountains, one of the highest ranges in all of Magnamund. And just to sort of take a quick note here. So this is what we're talking about. It's basically leading us up this way, up here. It is on the morning of the 14th day of your quest when 6 cloaked men appear at the edge of your camp. Lord Lieutenant Rygar is the first to draw his sword. With a voice of authority, he demands an explanation for their intrusion. In reply, they unsheath black swords. Rygar shouts to his men to prepare for combat as the cloaked strangers advance towards you. If you have the discipline of Sixth Sense, we do. Your Kai sense reveals to you that the strangers are Helghast, fell captains of the Dark Lords. They have been sent from the Dark Lord's city of Heldegadad on a mission of assassination. They have the ability to take on the appearance of humans, and they are immune to normal weapons and Mind Blast. You turn to shout a warning to Rygar as you run for the safety of the forest. The forest drops away steeply at the edge of your campsite, and in your haste you trip and fall headlong through the trees. Okay, I'm guessing we want a 0 to 8. Let's see. You come to rest face downwards in a tangle of thick bracken. The ringing of steel and the horrible cries of the Helghast echo through the trees around you. You are stunned and cannot move until a hand grabs your arm and pulls you upright. It is Rygar. His face is bloodied and his armor is battered and charred. We must flee these demons, Lone Wolf. Strength and steel will not avail us here. You glimpse the silhouette of 6 Helghast on the forest road above. Their minds bent on the slaughter of Rygar's men, they failed to see you both slip away under cover of the wooded hillside. Wow, we're abandoning his men. Damn. For 6 hours you run without rest. The Helghast are on the highway and you are forced to make your way through the steep and wooded foothills to avoid the risk of capture. Many times you feel that you just cannot go on, that the pain and the fatigue are too much to bear. But each time you falter, you are spurred on by Rygar. You marvel at his endurance, for he is not a young man, and he is clothed in the heavy armor of a psalm-lending knight. This is cool, actually. This is fan art, guys. So this was actually put into the book later on. This isn't part of the original book. So this is actually fan art of Rygar. Pretty awesome. By nightfall, you have reached the entrance to Tarnalin, the western tunnel through the Hammerdal Mountains. Tarnalin. Oh, Tarnalin's right here. Okay, so we're here. Alright. The western tunnel through the Hammerdal Mountains. Yeah, they're red shirts. I guess that's true. That's true. Their names are Smith, Jones, and McGillicuddy. The 3 tunnels of Durinor were excavated during the Age of the Black Moon, and each tunnel is over 40 miles long and passes through the huge circle of the Hammerdal Range to the capital. The tunnels provide the only access to the city. Rygar sits beside you and takes some bread and meat from his pack. Eat this, Lone Wolf. You must sustain your strength for the journey to Hammerdal, for from here you must venture alone through the Tarnalin. I shall remain here and hold the enemy back for as long as I have the strength to fight. Do not argue. That your mission should succeed is the only thing that matters. If Rygar is to hold off the Helghast, he will need a magic weapon, as his own sword is of no use against the creatures. If you wish to give him your magic spear so that he can defend the tunnel entrance, or if you do not possess a magic spear, blah blah blah. We have a Saul spear. I don't think that's a magic spear, though. You bid Rygar farewell and enter Tarnalin. Over 100 feet in height and width, the tunnel runs to the capital on the far side of the Hammerdal Range and is lit by torches for its entire length. The highway through the mountain is usually alive with traffic of merchants to and from Port Bax, yet now the entrance and interior are deserted except for an overturned fruit wagon. As you walk deeper into Tarnalin, a doubt nags at you. Have the Helghast arrived here first? You've been walking for half an hour when you see a strange creature on top of a wagon in the road ahead. Looks like this. It is 2 feet high and resembles an overgrown marsh rat. You assume it is some sort of tunnel-dwelling rodent until you notice that it is wearing a splendid jacket of patched leather and carrying what appears to be a spear. As you get nearer, it suddenly turns to face you. Its whiskered nose is sniffing the air and its bright black eyes are peering into the gloom. It sees you and scampers off into the darkness of a smaller tunnel to your left. If you have the Kai discipline of animal kinship, and you do, you recognize the creature to be a Nudnik. Nudnik! An intelligent but mischievous mountain-dwelling native of Durinor. The Nudniks inhabit a maze of smaller shafts and fissures that honeycomb the Hammerdal Mountains, and live off whatever they can steal for the merchant caravans that travel the Tarnalin. It occurs to you that if you can catch the Nudnik, you may be able to learn if the Helghast are hiding within the tunnel. Do you wish to follow the Nudnik, or let it go? Follow Nudnik? And continue the journey. Alright, what should we do, guys? Do we follow Nudnik? Or do we let it go and continue the journey? Our boy Nudnik. I have this image that it's gonna be like Seinfeld, and we're gonna find him and be like, "Hello, Nudnik." I'd like to think that's the way it's actually gonna go down. All right. So far, the chat is leaning in favor of following Nudnik. Or letting it go and continuing the journey is the other choice. What's it going to be? Hello, Noodleneck. Greetings, Noodleneck. I'm going to last call this here. The question is, do we follow Nudnik? Because Nudnik, it says, might be able to tell us if the Helghast are hiding within the tunnel. Did you literally just say what was the question and then vote just to get a tie? Because you know what, Dragon? If you're not paying attention with the rest of the class... Follow Nudnik, who will take you to where you can worship Dragonspear. Oh, I see. You just tied it for a minute just to see what was going on. As you're reading, you're like, quick! That's funny. Alright. Close poll. So, we will follow the Nudnik. You chase the furry creature as it hurries along a narrow, twisting passage for nearly 10 minutes, and are about to give up the chase when the passage opens out into a huge torchlit cavern. A stunning sight greets your eyes. The cavern houses an entire colony of these strange creatures, all busy sorting through and examining a vast pile of strange objects littering the center of the hall. We do have the Kai discipline of animal kinship. A large Nudnik wearing a brightly colored cloak of patchwork skills orders several of his people to arm themselves and drive you out of the hall. When you speak to them in their own language, a hush of astonishment fills the cavern. Never before have they encountered a human being who could actually speak their tongue. For some of them it is too much to grasp, and they stare at you open-mouthed, their furry little arms hanging loosely by their sides. Then the large Nudnik addresses you, saying he is the leader of this colony. His name is Gashgis, and he welcomes you and invites you to join him on top of a raised platform in the center of the chamber. "You's not a Duranese man, eh? Where's the yous come from, eh?" questions Gashgis in his strange Nudnik accent. You tell him that you were a Somlending on your way to Hammerdal. He looks at you nervously, then asks, "You's not a Black Screamers, eh?" You realize that the Black Screamers that Gashgiz refers to are Helghast. You learn that 2 of them arrived in Tarnelin over 2 hours ago and caused quite a panic in the main tunnel. Gashgis knows where they are lying in ambush, waiting for you to appear. "I shows you's way past them, eh?" he offers. You nod your agreement and follow him down the steps of the platform to the hall below. "Well, thanks, I'm trying, Genly. I'm doing a cold, so..." The Nudniks seem to have overcome their shock and react to you now as if you were one of them. Before you leave, a pretty female Nudnik... How would I know if she was pretty? I'm not going to think about that too much. A pretty female Nudnik offers you some food for your journey ahead. There is enough for 2 meals. Thank you. Take a couple meals. You thank her for her generosity and then follow Gashgis along one of the many passages leading out of the cavern. After an hour of trekking through the dark, he stops and points towards a shaft of light that he is pouring through a crevice in the far distance. "Yous goes left. Yous be safe," he says. You thank Gashgis for his help and silently thank your Kai masters who taught you the skill of animal kinship. The many years of instruction have probably saved your life. You squeeze through a fissure in their rock wall and drop 3 feet to the pathway below. You were thinking how kind the Nudniks were when you discover that they have stolen all your gold. God damn it. They saved us, but at the cost of all our damn gold. This is the second time that happened. The Zals were like, "Oh, don't take care of them." We're like, "Good guy, Zal." And it turns out they took like more of our crap. Took our horse. Man, I was always stealing stuff from you. You have covered nearly 3 miles when you see a group of wagons in the distance. They have been strung out along the highway to form a barricade. Soldiers in red uniforms line the roofs of the wagons, and a large group of people have gathered behind them. You can hear their excited chatter echoing along the tunnel. As you get closer, there's a sudden silence as all eyes turn to stare at you. A detachment of 10 soldiers, led by a knight whose shield bears the royal arms of Duranor, advances towards you. Do you wish to attack the soldiers or raise your hands and walk towards them? Now remember, we're past the Helghast, so these guys should be on the up and up, I think. Also because they were chattering beforehand, which is not... I don't think the Helghast would be like, hey, what's up? Oh, shh, bad guy's coming. You know, like... All right, what's it going to be? Are we going to attack those soldiers, or are we going to raise our hands and walk towards them? $, Genly. Not hashtag. If you want to get something going on Twitter about why people should always vote too, then definitely hashtag, but otherwise $. All right, last call. No, it's no problem, dude. I was just letting you know. It was funny to see all the symbols like exclamation point, hashtag, $, at, ampersand, like. All right. Yeah, right. Okay, here we go. So, raise your hands and walk towards them. Cautiously, the soldiers surround you and take your weapons and backpack. You need not adjust your action chart, okay? The knight steps forward and raises the visor of his helm. Who are you? What is your purpose in Tarnalin? He demands in a gruff voice. You tell them that you are a Kai Lord from Sommerlund on an urgent mission to King Alan. He seems unconvinced by your words until you show him the seal of Hammerdall. Good God, if we ever lose the seal of Hammerdall... There we go. If we ever lose the seal of Hammerdall, we're screwed, people. Then without hesitation, he orders his men to return your belongings and ushers you through the wall of wagons. Beyond, you can see a horse-drawn carriage waiting in the center of the crowded tunnel. Back to Hammerdall without delay, he orders the driver, and you are thrown back in your seat as the coach moves off at breakneck speed. You soon learn that the knight is Lord Axim of Rhyme, commander of King Alan's personal bodyguard. He was on his way to Port Bax when the Helghast entered Tarnalin. He and 10 soldiers were the only ones to survive a deadly encounter with these evil creatures. During your ride through the Tarnalin, you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Now, the good news is that we have hunting, so we can do that. So we don't have to waste a meal. The journey to the capital will take 5 hours, and you are advised by Lord Axim to get some rest. As you slowly drift off to sleep, you begin to dream about the Sommerswerd. You picture a triumphant return to Holmgard and the defeat of the Dark Lord's siege. Perhaps it will be a good omen of events to come, but just in case, you're going to save the game. Yep, I was just thinking about that. What's up, Annydell? All right, let's get some Simon's Quest going on here. As requested, I believe, by I forget who was it requested this, but here we go. Good, Andel. You just got a new mic? Nice. Saving us for the week, right? Okay. It is early morning on the 15th day of your quest when you open your eyes to the breathtaking, I can speak, to the breathtaking spectacle of Hammerdall, the mountain city. The capital of Duranor, unlike other cities in the Last Lands, does not need man-made fortifications. The encircling peaks of the Hammerdall range offer a far more secure protection to the people within. The carriage speeds through the lush farmlands surrounding the city with its many towers and wide streets. On a hill in the very center of Hammerdall stands the King's Tower, a magnificent structure of glass and stone. As the carriage halts at the tower gates, you suddenly realize for the first time that as a wielder of the Sommerswerd, your destiny is to become part of the oldest legend of the Last Lands. King Alan sits alone in his domed tower, viewing his mountain domain through one of the many portals, some fan art of our boy, many portals of tinted glass. You and Lord Axim are formally announced as you enter the chamber, and you respectfully bow to His Majesty. Then Lord Axim removes the seal of Hammerdall from your finger and walks over to the king's side. For nearly an hour they talk, their somber faces reflecting the seriousness of the situation. There is a short pause of silent meditation, and King Allen suddenly rises from his throne and addresses you for the first time. Alas, the Dark Lords have woken once more, and I will show the map as requested by Genly. Here is the map. Hammerdall on this side. Over 2 books we've traveled from here, all through here, all the way up to here. The Dark Lords have woken once more, and once more does Summerland come in search of our aid. I had prayed that my reign would be remembered as a time of peace and fulfillment, but in my heart I knew it was to be otherwise. The king removes a golden key from the pocket of his white robe and inserts it in a marble dais standing in the center of the chamber. A gentle humming fills the room as the stone cover slides back to reveal the hilt of a golden sword. Take the sword, Lone Wolf. It is foretold that only a true son of Summerland can release the powers that lie within its blade. As you grasp the glowing hilt, a tingling sensation runs up your arm and radiates throughout your body. If you have the Kai discipline of 6th sense, and we do, the power coursing through your body so overwhelms your senses that you become oblivious to your surroundings. You instinctively raise the blade above your head where a shaft of sunlight suddenly catches upon its very tip and floods the chamber with a blinding white glow. At that moment, the true power of the Sommersword is revealed to you. This weapon was forged long before the Somlending. The Duranese or the Dark Lords dwelt in the Last Lands. Its makers were of a race that men would now call gods. To release the power that it contains, only a Kai Lord may wield it. Should it be used in combat by anyone who is not a Kai Lord, its power will fade and be lost forever. When used in combat, the Sommersword will add 8 points to your combat skill. Jesus! What? 8 points? We go from a combat skill of 16 to 24, and we get 10 points if we possess the Kai discipline of weapon skill with swords. It has the ability to absorb any magic used against its bearer. It doubles the total of all endurance points lost by undead enemies, e.g. Helghast, in combat. It is the only weapon in all of Magnamund that can kill a Dark Lord, and for this reason the Dark Lords are bent on thwarting your quest. You guys know, right, that we're going to lose this in like 2 pages. Right? That's the catch, Anidel. We're going to be like, we have the sword, and immediately it's going to be taken from us for like 3 books. Like, I've seen this movie. I know how this ends. Good God, 8 points. You now realize you hold the only power in Magnamund that can save your people. Slowly, the light starts to fade, and you become aware of Lord Axim's hand upon your shoulder. That's it right there. That's the Sommersword. Look at that thing. Badass. Come, Lone Wolf, there's much preparation for your return to Summerland. You sheathe the Sommersword in its jeweled scabbard and follow Lord Axim as he leaves the king's chamber. Make the necessary adjustments to your combat skill total now that you possess the Sommersword. God, man, 24! Note the powers of the sword under the special items section of your action chart. Like, I don't even... Good God, like, what? Look at this thing. +8 versus all, ×2 damage versus undead. And if we get weapon skill next with swords, now the problem is that we can't guarantee that it's going to be with swords. That's the only problem with getting weapon skill, but the power of the sword is not a myth. It doesn't work, yeah. Wow, oh man, good lord. It's weapon-like special item, +10 combat skill, 8 combat naturally, +2 for weapon skill with short sword, sword, or broadsword. Each of them grant proficiency, not an additional bonus. When used in combat, treat it like a one-handed sword regardless of weapon skill bonus. Text or footnotes will always remind you to double your enemy's endurance points loss if it is undead. Alright? That thing is freaking sick. The muster of the army and the preparation. Wait a minute, we're saving it, first of all. We're saving this bad boy. The muster of the army and the preparation of the Duranese fleet takes 14 days to complete, during which you remain as a guest of the king in Hammerdall. As each day passes, you despair for your besieged countrymen of Homeguard, and pray that they have enough strength to resist the Dark Lords until you return. Every day of your reluctant exile, you devote long periods to exercise and meditation. You are also visited by a Duranese herb warden called Maiden Rendalim, who is famous throughout the Last Lands for his knowledge and skill in the healing arts. He restores all the endurance points you may have lost so far in your adventure, which that healing thing that we have, which gives us +1 endurance point every section that we're not involved in combat, is big help. He gives you a potent lamp spur potion that will restore 5 endurance points if swallowed after combat. So we have a couple of these now. Mark this under backpack items on your action chart. He is also the bearer of some sad news. The body of Lord Lieutenant Rygar was found in the forest near to the entrance to Tarnalin. He was killed by Helghast. Aw, man. Can we get some Fs in chat to pay respect? Can we get some Fs to pay respect for Lord Rygar? Oh man, my boy Rygar. If it wasn't for Rygar, we wouldn't be here. Oh man, Rygar. This is music. This is music mourning the loss of our boy Rygar. You were an awesome companion, and you also helped make a really great video game. Alright. We do have the Discipline of Sixth Sense. You have noticed during your rigorous training exercises with the Sommersword that your Kai Discipline of Sixth Sense has become more sensitive than ever before. You knew exactly what Madden Rendalim's sad news was long before he actually told you. You may find that your improved Sixth Sense will be an important advantage upon your return to Homeguard. Wow. It is early in the morning of the 33rd day of your quest when you ride into Port Bax with Lord Axum at your side. The preparations for war have been completed. The galleons of the Duranese war fleet lie at anchor in the harbor, impatiently awaiting the order to set sail for Sommerland. On board each ship are many brave soldiers from the Mountain Kingdom, a tough army of skilled warriors eager to face the Dark Lords in battle. Each man has sworn to avenge their besieged allies or die in the attempt. Yeah, Duranese for life! Actually, it's actually, Sommerland for life, but also awesome work from the Duranese. You were to sail back to Homeguard aboard the flagship Duranor, a warship whose great curving prow and tall masts emphasize its sheer power and strength. You and Lord Axum are taken aboard and welcomed by Admiral Calfin, commander of the fleet, and then the fleet prepares to set sail. In less than an hour, the harbor lies far behind you. The domes of Port Bax are now merely dots on the horizon. Alright, let's pick a number. 8. The voyage to Sommerland is one of ill omen. Deep black storm clouds gather on the horizon, and a fierce wind relentlessly torments the restless sea. What's up, Carohemd? Yeah, this is me too, and this has been awesome. We're playing actually with the aid of a program called Seventh Sense. Welcome in. At night, great bolts of lightning tear open the darkness, followed by a rolling thunder so loud that it shakes every timber of the flagship. Many of the soldiers aboard the fleet are mountain dwellers, unaccustomed to the shift of the sea. By the third day, over half their number are so ill as to be unable to stand. Lord Axum is close to despair. How I pray that this storm will lift, for even if the fleet arrives intact, I fear our men will be too weak to break the enemy. Then, as if in answer to his prayer, the dawn of the next day heralds an end to the raging storms. But the calm waters now surrounding the fleet contain a danger far greater than any storm. A veil of sea fog has rolled across the still ocean from the broken spine of land known as the Kirlundan Isles. Strange dark shapes hide within this mist. They are growing larger, and slowly the distinct outlines of ships become plain. Yeah, exactly. You accidentally are like, check out my Sommersword, and then you drop it in the water. Prepare for battle! The Admiral's cry is repeated along the many decks of the Duranese fleet. All hands on deck! As the black ships approach through the fog, a horrific sight befalls you. They are death hulks, sunken ships crewed by the living corpses of drowned sailors. They have been summoned to the surface by great wizardry, and they are closing for battle. Suddenly the fog vanishes, and you can now see that the death hulks bar the entrance to the home gulf. In the center of the line is their sinister flagship. Swiftly it sails toward you, a huge ram protruding from its black prow. As it rips its way through the hull of the Duranor, you hear the Admiral's last desperate order. Abandon ship! Oh my god. Alright, before I get onto that. Yes, Cubicle 7 did, and I actually have been looking into that. I don't have time for another campaign, but as you may know, Cubicle 7 actually officially sponsors my channel's campaign of Adventures of Middle-earth, which is also made by Cubicle 7. We were supposed to be playing that today, but we had some real-life things that got in the way, so we had to reschedule for next week at the same time. But we actually have been sponsored by them for the better part of a year, actually. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of Cubicle 7. You are now in the thick of the enemy fleet and the Durinar is sinking fast. If you wish to jump onto the deck of the Death Hulk flagship, oh nice, that's some pirate work right there, or dive into the sea and try to swim to another Duranese ship. Okay, so let's see what we can actually do, folks. Is everything okay? What do you mean? Is everything okay about what? Yep, yeah, they did sponsor us, yep. What do you mean, Dragon? I'm fine. Should I not be okay? Not to me. No. It was actually the players. Everybody's fine. It was just sort of like last minute things that came into play for like 2 or 3 people, and I can't run the campaign with 2. So that's why we all rescheduled for next week. Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, nothing about me. I'm good. Yeah, I know, right, Anydel? Exactly. I'd freaking jump into the water. I don't know. Anyway, I'll let you guys decide it, but I know what I would do. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, though. Thank you for asking, though, man. So, do we jump onto the death of the Death Hulk flagship? We got the Sommersword, son! Freaking pirate this. Like, Jack Sparrow, get me on the freaking boat. Yeah, I mean, right, EMC? Like, get the hell on that freaking thing. We got the freaking, I mean, they how many details did they give us? It does ×2 with undead, it does this, it does that, it does this other epic thing. It combs your hair, it makes breakfast for you in the mornings, like it does everything. Attack for Sommerland! I feel like if we didn't at this point attack and we were like, nope, let's run, I'd be like, wait. Like, the Sommersword would be like, really? And would just, like, pull itself out of your hands and go to someone else. Kai Lord, son. Alright, I'm going to close this poll. It seems pretty clear what chat's opinion is. Alright. You land on the rotting timbers and crash straight through the deck below. You are unharmed by the fall, but the stench of decay that fills your nostrils is overwhelming. You clamber up and unsheath the Sommersword. 4 ghastly zombies stagger out of the gloom, their twisted hands extended towards your throat. You must fight them as one enemy. Now look at this. Look at this. They have a combat skill of 13. Our combat skill is 24, and we do double damage to them. Like, are you joking? 2 for the sword is 14. 8 for the Sommersword is 22. Oh, actually, that's a mistake. It should be 22, not 24. But either way. 10! Oh my god! The first thing, 10. Look at this. Look at what we're going to do to them. We killed them! We just one-shot them! We one-shot them! We double damaged one-shot the zombie crew. We literally were like... We like decapitated all 4 zombies with one swing. We double damaged 1 kill. Oh, damn it. Sorry. They just walked up and were like, wow. And then we stand there and we're like, Sommersword, son of a god. That was epic. Not only do we have a ridiculous advantage, but then we got the best possible number. Yeah, we won the fight. The stench of the ship is making you choke. You lose 1 endurance point. You must get out of this vile hold or you will suffocate. Fortunately, we have the discipline of 7 cents. Trending. True, true. Well, that was essentially a critical hit, Trend. That was like that was a one-shot kill right there. Someone or something is approaching the door of the hold from the other side. If you climb out through the shattered deck, you will leave your legs vulnerable to attack from below, and there is no other way out. You sense that it is an evil creature of some considerable power. We're saving this right now. Raise the Sommersword and prepare for combat. I agree, I agree. The door bursts open and in rushes a Helghast, its black sword raised. You strike the creature as it enters the hold and open a terrible gash in its chest. It lets out a hideous cry, but although badly wounded, it leaps forward to attack you. You must fight this creature to the death. It's wounded. It has a combat skill of 22. Wow, which means it's equal to us, because we technically have a combat skill of 22, remember. 14 plus the sword is 8, so 22. And we have 23 endurance points. This is really close. The big advantage for us, though, is that we double endurance points that it loses because of the Sommerswerd. Wow. Okay, 2 for the shield, 14. 8 for the Sommerswerd, 22. So we're even Steven, but we lose... Again, we're looking for a big number. Big number, big number, big number. 8. That is a big number. That's a big number. That's what I'm talking about. Big number. Did we just basically one-shot kill that thing again? I think what we did is we just one-shot killed that thing again. Wow. I'm not sure that I have ever in a game book ever had a weapon this badass. I'm not sure I've ever had one this good. What, like, now granted, it is against the creature it was designed to fight. Like, it was made to fight this thing, but still, like, good God, this is like using, using Mega Man, right? All right, so that takes care of that one. Okay. Well, listen, I mean, for these guys, you make your way up a flight of stairs and onto the crowded deck. Fierce battle rages all around you as the Duranese fleet is engulfed by the rush of ghostly Death Hulks. Suddenly a flash of searing flame shoots from a tower at the rear of the Death Hulk you were on and explodes into the side of a Duranese warship less than 50 yards away. I'm saving here, by the way, only because we just beat those two guys that epically. You watch with horror as soldiers leap from the deck, their clothes and hair in flames. Jeez. Do you wish to investigate the tower? So there's this flame that shot from a tower at the Death Hulk. Should we investigate the tower or escape? Investigate the tower or escape from the ship. I mean, like, presumably, there must be a way to get there, to get to this point without having the Sommerswerd, but the chances of you winning without the Sommerswerd... I don't even know, though, because you were supposed to get the Sommerswerd, so I guess you'd have to have it when you encounter them, because otherwise, like, we would be so badly outclassed by these creatures without that. Like, we could beat the zombies, but we're not beating that Helghast with an 8-point advantage on us. This is Investigate the Tower music. By the way, anybody recognize the soundtrack? Burst into flames. Okay. Not Power Rangers, although I can see why you'd say that. Okay, investigate the towers. 2 zombies try to block your passage, but you cleave them in half with one sweep of the Sommerswerd. You are at the foot of the tower, and you can now see a hunched-back man in crimson robes above you. Oh, that's this dude. That's this guy. The guy in the front cover. This is the dude that we see. We see that dude in the front cover, that bastard. The hair of the soldier that jumped off the boat. All right. If you have ever been given a crystal star pendant, and we have, you can actually see it right here. This pendant was given to us. Remember the wizard, guys, that we saved in the first book? We saved the wizard in the first book, and he gave us this crystal star pendant in thanks. This is what I like about this, that you can use this much later. We do have one. He is Vonatar the Traitor, renegade wizard from the Magician's Guild of Torin. He is a master of the black arts and now possesses great power which the Dark Lords themselves have given him. It was his agents who tried to assassinate you during your quest, and it is he who commands the Death Hulk fleet. Destroy Vonadar, and you will destroy the evil force that gives power to the Death Hulks and their crews. I can't even believe that I'm making this a poll, but I will. Do we climb the tower and attack Vonatar, or do we not risk our life and escape from the ship? All right, there we go. We're going to attack this jerk and tell him, hello, I'd like to introduce you to someone. His name is Sommerswerd. For Gondor, for Sommerland. Genly's like, nope, I'm out. I was like, wow. Genly hears the speech and Genly's like, so Genly, I have this image that you would be at the speech right before in the Return of the King, where, you know, in the film in this case, where Aragorn's like, there may be a day when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day. And you listen to the whole thing, and you're listening to him, and then you're like, nope. And you like turn your horse around and... Just kidding. All the hair is burned. Yes, all the hair is burned, damn it. We've been thwarted by anti-Rapunzel. Exactly, I'm out. I vote to take command of a ship ballista and shoot the jerk. That would be useful, Maze, but unfortunately we're on this Death Hulk. Alright, I'm going to close this poll because it's pretty clear, everyone. The power of Grace of Sommerswerd. Okay, let's do it. The climb is very difficult, for you have only one free hand. The other holds the glowing hilt of the Sommerswerd. You eventually reach the rim of the tower and quickly hook a leg over the narrow ledge. You are about to jump into the tower and attack when a thin voice makes you freeze. How I shall delight in the irony of your death, Lone Wolf. The sorcerer is standing in the far corner of the tower, his left hand pointing at your head. Your quest has failed, Lone Wolf. Now you must die, even though it says left hand, and I'm using the right hand in the picture. Someone has failed. Where is QA? Okay. A blinding flash of orange flame shoots from his hand towards your face. In a fraction of a second, the searing burst of flame changes direction in midair and is drawn towards the blade of the most OP weapon ever, also known as the Sommerswerd. The bolt of energy disappears into the golden blade like water into a drain. You remember that the Sommerswerd has the power to absorb magic. This power has saved you from certain death. The sorcerer curses you, pulls a jewel from his ornate Takmor, and throws it at your feet. There is a flash of flame and a cloud of choking green gas billows up in your face, filling your nostrils with its acidic smell. You are forced to jump to the deck below to avoid the poisonous gas, and you just catch a glimpse of the sorcerer as he frantically paddles a small boat away from the Death Hulk flagship. Do you wish to dive into the sea and swim after this bastard, or do you wish to fight your way back to Adurni's warship? So... he said, which roughly translated goes, God damn it, I hate that sword. This is all the fault of Q&A. Hold on a second. See, now I don't know. Like, I guess we have to fight our way back or something. Because I don't know. Because we don't want to lose the sword. The only thing I know is that the most important thing that exists at this point is not losing the Sommerswerd. That's all I know. Like, the Sommerswerd has been described as like the alpha, the omega, and, you know, everything in between. Like, it is not... It is not, in fact, Final Fantasy music. It is not, in fact, Final Fantasy music. Yeah, exactly. It translates to, that is the most OP weapon ever. It translates to, you are such a Mary Sue. That's what it translates to. It translates to, you have such a ridiculous plot armor. That's the rough translation. Oh man, good times, good times. Now we know why I got the sword. Yeah, exactly. All right, we're gonna go with this. I think. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. I gotta remember to. I gotta be better about doing that, so I can actually see it. Sorry. So 4-2. 4-2. Sorry, even with Dragon, it would have been only 4-3. Your attempt to tie would have failed. Sorry, Dragon. As you race along the corpse-littered deck, 2 Dracarum warriors emerge from a doorway. Rawr! And attack you by surprise. You must fight them one at a time. All right, get out of our way. We got the Sommersword. We got the Sommersword, son. Plus we got Mind Blast. 14, 2 more, 16. Here we got 24. We got a 7-point advantage on this one. 7 point. 7 points, son. All right, let's see what we've got with a 7-point advantage. 12 points of damage to him. We take 1 point of damage. I think that's a pretty good trade. He scratched us vaguely. And the next guy has way more endurance, but ugh, that was terrible. Still, we have a 7-point advantage. Still not that bad. Still took some damage, though. We gotta be careful. This fight was a little sloppy, I gotta be honest. Little sloppy. Still, though, on the whole, that worked out pretty well. Okay. Now, we've got 24-16, and again, we've got an 8 ratio, so this is even better. Oh, I was really hoping for that 10. A 6 is still going to be pretty good, though. 6 is going to do some serious damage to this guy. Yep. 12, and that's good, because he has a lot more endurance than we do. Or had, I should say. 10? Oh, I thought it was going to stop at the 10. 10 might have been an instant kill, actually. Yep, 10 would have been an instant kill. Alright, we still took 10 damage. Alright, I think we got this guy. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. 3. This fight was not great. I have to say, this fight was kind of lame. Alright, we beat him. If you kill them both in combat, you can then jump to the deck of a nearby Turanese ship, which we will do. Luck is with you, for you land safely on the deck of the Calicarm, a Duranese warship. The soldiers here have been involved in a desperate battle, but have fought off the enemy and are cutting the grappling ropes that hold the ship to a death hulk. We can... Yes, that's true. We do have a potion. Do we want to maybe do like the Meal of Lompspur, which would restore 3? So that we can get 3 points. I don't know if we want to use the 5-point potion, but do you guys want to do the 3-point Meal of Lompspur? Just to be on the safe side or not? What do you guys think? I'm not going to put up a poll. I'm just asking, should we use that or not? This may or may not be okay. I don't know, but +3 might be reasonable. So what do you guys think? Ashera says yes for +3. Do you guys agree? +3? You lost 11 points, so you're at 12. Now, you get +1 every time, but that's still a lot of entries to not have combat. So +3, yeah. Okay, I agree. Okay, there we are. We're back up to 15. I think that's a good call. All right. From out of the smoke strides Lord Axim, his face bloodied and shield badly scarred. Thank the gods you were alive, Lone Wolf, as you can see me pointing. The flight has been bitter and our losses are high, but I'm heartened indeed to see you standing before me now, he says and leads you to the ship's rail. Look yonder, their flagship is ablaze. Through the fog of war, you can see that the huge death hulk is slowly sinking beneath a plume of dense black smoke. The Calicarm is eventually freed, and slowly it maneuvers out of the tangle of wreckage. A wind begins to stir, filling its tattered sails and carrying away the smoke of battle. Lord Axim orders the royal arms of Duranor to be hoisted aloft so that other ships can rally to the Calicarm. For the first time since the battle began, you can now see the other Duranese ships. It is an amazing sight, for as the enemy flagship sinks beneath the waves, so every Death Hulk on the horizon returns to its watery grave. Their sorcery is broken. We have won this battle, says Lord Axim, and within a few minutes not one of the Death Hulks remains afloat. 70 Duranese warships left Port Bax, but only 50 now enter the home gulf. Damn! We lost 20 warships in that battle, guys. The battle has claimed many brave men, including Admiral Calfin, who died aboard the flagship Duranor, the first ship to be sunk. But despite the heavy loss, a great victory has been won, a victory which inspires the Duranese soldiers with new strength, so that the past ordeal of both the voyage and the battle are now forgotten. Well, maybe the fog is starting to clear, Trent. Maybe that's what it is. As their optimism and determination return, all are eager to reach Holmgard and raise the siege. It is dusk on the 37th day of your quest when you sight the spires of Holmgard on the horizon. The city still stands defiantly against the army of Dark Lords, although constantly under siege. Flickering in the darkness, you can see the small fires which burn throughout the capital. A confident Lord Axim joins you at the prow. The moonless sky will aid us this night. We shall enter the harbor unseen. Come the dawn, my men will scatter the wretched foe like dead leaves upon the wind of a storm. As you enter Holmgard Harbor at the head of the Duranese fleet, you unsheathe the Sommerswerd and prepare to fulfill your destiny. Holmgard has suffered much since your departure. Many of the shops and houses you remember passing on your way to the quay are little more now than heaps of ashes. The Dark Lord's army with their evil engines of war surround the walls, and the flaming arcs of fireballs shooting through the air continually light the night sky as they rain down on the streets below. The people fight the fire as best they can, but they are hungry and exhausted and close to surrender. At first, as it enters the harbor, the fleet is mistaken for the enemy, and cries of despair can be heard all along the quay. But as the first of the soldiers set foot in the city and unfurl the royal arms of Duranor, the news of your return spreads quickly. The cries of despair have changed to a chorus of cheers. The Kai Lord has returned! You are standing at the top of the great watchtower high above the main gate of the city when the first light of dawn creeps slowly over the horizon. Thousand upon thousand of the black-clad enemy are massed around the city wall, huddled like beetles in the trenches that cover the plain. In the midst of this horde, a great red tent has been erected bearing the symbol of a broken skull. It is the mark of Zagarna, Lord of Kog, a Dark Lord of Helgadad. His great ambition is the destruction of Holmgard, his fiercest desire to lead his army to victory over the House of Ulnar and claim Sommerland for his own. But victory is not to be his this day. Raising the Sommerswerd high above your head, a shaft of dawn sunlight catches upon the tip of the golden sword, and a brilliant flash of blinding white flame runs the entire length of the blade. The power of the Sommerswerd electrifies you. Your senses reel, and now your body reacts instinctively. You lower the Sommerswerd and point the blade towards the tent of Lord Zagarna. There is a mighty roar as the power of the Sun Sword is unleashed in a searing white beam. Good God, this weapon is so ridiculous! The tent explodes and a brilliant fireball of white flame mushrooms skyward. A long and terrible cry rends the air. It is Lord Zagarna. The leader of the evil army is no more. Gripped with fear and panic, the vast black army rise up and run in chaos from the city wall. The impossible has happened. Their invincible master is slain. Again the Sommerswerd has returned to defeat them. The army and the alloys of Duranor ride out of the city gates in pursuit of the panic-stricken enemy as they run blindly towards the Derncrag Mountains. The victory is yours. Holmgard is saved, and the murder of the Kai has finally been avenged. But for you, Lone Wolf, a life of high adventure has only just begun. A new challenge awaits you in the Sommerswerd in Book 3 of the Lone Wolf series, The Caverns of Kalta. Yes! Victory! For Sommerland! We did it, people! I actually thought we were going to have to fight that dude. We did it, people. Great success. Sommerland is saved. Suck it, guy. Dark Lord, dude. Wham! That's what I'm talking about. Nice. Awesome, guys. Good job, chat. Sommerswerd in the chat. Yeah, you guys did a good job. This was good. Good work, people. We got the job done. Dun, dun, dun. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for the bits. And hey-oh on that cheer. I agree with you. I agree with you. That was awesome, guys. All right. So we did it. We managed to get it done, even though we were playing for a little bit less time than normal today. So actually that worked out in terms of the session. And yeah, apparently it was all about the Sommerswerd. I think basically, Dragon, it was getting the sword that was the big deal. I mean, we also could have messed it up when we were on the boat if we tried to swim with the sword, I think, but otherwise we did it. So the question I have, guys, for all of you is, Caverns of Kalta is the next one. I don't know about you guys, I'm having a lot of fun with the Lone Wolf books, and even though we are, obviously, the Fighting Fantasy game books are going to be the ones that we'll return to eventually, I feel like we should continue to play the Lone Wolf series for now, because we have these books sort of built in, so, and like the program works great. So are you guys on board with that? Do you want us to continue with the Caverns of Kalta? You get the sword in book 2. We only got it a little while ago. Thank you, Maze. Thank you for the cheer. Thank you for the cheer. Yosha, yes. Yeah, you know, I kind of, back in the day, I preferred Fighting Fantasy, I have to say, Karohem, just because there were so many differences in it, but I really am enjoying the playthroughs in terms of the streaming, so I feel like we should stay with it. Also, I like the fact that we get to continue to move up the ranks, because right now we're Aspirant, right, and it doesn't show us right now, I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't show us right now. But later on, we'll be able to raise up another level, and when we do, we'll be able to get another skill. So we'll be able to pick up another discipline in addition to the ones that we already have. We've got Mind Blast already. We've got a bunch of disciplines, so we'll see. Oh, yeah, we're not going to do that now. We're not going to do that now, Genli, because the time... I'm not saying we're not going to continue it at the moment. But the next time we play, which will be next month, that's what I'm talking about. When we play next time, we will come back to this, is what I'm saying. We're not going to play the next book right now because I don't have the book downloaded yet. So, but I will do that sort of down the line. So good stuff, guys. That was good. Exactly, Karahem. Exactly. That I agree with you about that. I also like the fact that it's a continuing story. That is one of its great strengths, I think. So yeah, I'm down for that. I'm really excited. That's good stuff, guys. All right, now there is one more vote to take place, though, guys, and that is that today is the day for nominations for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month. And as it happens, ArvBot just happens to be up and running already. Now, the way this works, guys, is we are going to be, this is going to go up, these nominations are going to go up, and then it's going to be voted upon over the next week using a straw poll. And then next week, on the same time, at Tuesday, at the same time, we will have the final vote, and I will then play the Chat Chosen Game of the Month for the Tuesday afterwards. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the question I have right now is, what game should Arv play this month? Now, I reserve the right to veto choices that I've already played, or that I'm going to play, or anything else like that. I reserve that right. That said, though, I will give you all the chance to get in your nominations. Please, only one nomination per person. I will not take horror games. I don't like them. I won't play them. But this other stuff I'm happy to do. So, Red Alert 2. That's Command and Conquer, right? Isn't that CNC Red Alert 2? So I'll take 6 nominations, and then we're going to narrow it down to 3. So we got Red Alert 2. What other games would people like me to give a try to? As the double bass continues. This, by the way, was the soundtrack to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Okay. So we got CNC Red Alert 2. What other nominations we got? Nominations for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month, folks. What game would you like me to give a try to? Last Day of June? For the 5th time. Someday it'll happen, Chaotix. Last Day of June. Is it, and remind me, Last Day of June, was it, did you say it was a point-and-click adventure? Remind me what it is. I vaguely remember, but not entirely. Where the water tastes like wine. I saw someone playing that, Genli. I think I saw Adam Coble playing that. And maybe Ezekiel? I saw someone playing that. That's cool. I'm down with that. Alright, that's 3 possibilities. It's an interactive story. Cool. Alright, that's 3 so far. CNC Red Alert 2, Last Day of June, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Tune Struck. Okay. I think you nominated that last month too, Tren. We will try to get that in sometime. Or it might have been Terry. I think Terry's a big Toonstruck person also. Alright, that's 4. I need 2 more nominations. 2 more nominations, and then we will close down nominations, and we will have our vote right now, our nominating vote. And the top 3 vote getters will go into a straw poll, And those 3 will compete, and next Tuesday we will close the vote, and the winner will be the game that I will play. Okay, that's cool. That sounds cool, Carol. I'm down. I like the idea. All right, 2 other choices. 2 other choices. What other choices do people have? I just don't want to play horror games. I don't like horror games. Or games with big jump scare stuff. I'm not big on that. Okay. Thimbleweed Park. And remember, only one... so Thimbleweed Park. Remember, only 1 nomination per person, please. Yeah, basically, I don't love post-apocalyptic games, Genly, although I can sometimes play those, depending on the scenario. I just really dislike horror games, so that's why. Hang on 1 second. Hello? I don't know who that was. You're not really a huge action game fan? Well, it depends on the game. Like, I did really like Shovel Knight. I liked Metroid, which are action games. I like some of those. But they almost always have to have a story of some kind associated with them. Or if not, they have to tie into some nostalgia for me. Like, I like Shovel Knight because it ties into games that I loved as a kid, like Mega Man and stuff like that. But most games, I really want to have some kind of story base to it, some narrative or story base to it. And also, I love implied lore, implied world building. Like in the Metroid Prime games, the exploring of the world and finding the lore is really cool. I love stuff like that. Golden Sun I've played, and Shadowed Mage, who's one of my mods, adores Golden Sun and wants me to keep playing it. I may come back to it at some point. I didn't love Golden Sun, but it was decent. I have played a little bit of Avernum. The problem with Avernum, Genly, is it's just so clunky. And, like, the developer is kind of hardcore about that. He's like, nope, this is the way I want the games to be. Like, they're just so clunky that I'm like, ugh. Like, I just have a hard time. Even though I'm not a guy who needs amazing graphics for things to work, obviously, as we can see from these games, I need something. That was all. I never played Expedition Vikings. Nope, I did not. Hey, Tobik. All right, we got room for 1 more. Anyone else want to get 1 more game, or are we going to stick with these 5? Golden Sun I've already tried, and it was actually chosen as a previous one. Professor Layton I'll buy. Yep, I've never played that, but I've thought it might be kind of cool. That's a good one. Oh, sorry, Maze. Sorry, Maze. Sorry, dude. I got that in Valdis story. Can you hold that into thoughts? Can you hold that into thoughts? Can you hold that into thoughts? Can you hold that for next month, Maze? Sorry, man. Expedition, and the same thing, Alt, with Expedition Vikings. I had not heard about that, but if you guys hold on to those 2 and bring them back next month, we can do that. Just because Professor Layton was chosen just before. So I really don't want to do more than 6. That's the thing. Sorry. Valdis story I've heard of. I've never played any of them. Expedition Vikings either. So those are all good possibilities. I like the variety choices. So, okay, guys, here we go. Here are the choices. So what I need you guys to do is to vote. The top 3 vote getters are going to move on to the final vote. So the top 3 vote getters are going to be the final vote. Top 3 vote getters. So get in your votes now. No, game doesn't need to be in a certain category necessarily, Tobik. Just as long as it's not in horror. Like, the closest game that I probably played to horror on stream was, Oxenfree. Oxenfree was probably the closest game that I've played to horror. And that was a little freaky, but that was, whatever. And the jump scare, like, the only jump scare thing are, like, some of, like, Legend of Grimrock 2 had a few of those. It's a measure of how much I like that game, that I liked the game anyway, despite the jump scares. But mostly, like, the freaky stuff was, like, Oxenfree. And that was the closest one. Before I started streaming years ago, I actually did play the first Resident Evil, the first 2 Resident Evils, and I played Parasite Eve as well. But that was, again, not often. I have very seldom played them. I just don't like horror things, so... Okay, so we got Professor Layton with 2, Toonstruck with 2, and then we got 3 at 1 vote each. So we're going to need someone to get another vote for one of those 3. the Red Alert 2 Last Day of June, or Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. We're going to need to get one else there, so we have those nice 3 votes there. For the one you submitted, which was Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Okay. Give me your emotions, Tobik. Well, I can't, you know, so then you're going to have to give me your ASCII emotes then. Okay. And boom. All right, so the winner is Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, Toonstruck, and Professor Layton. So now what I would like to ask is if one of my mods would be so kind as to make a straw poll with those 3 games, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, Toonstruck, and Professor Layton, and just saying what game should Arv play this month. And then if you could link that to ! next game, then that way people will be able to vote on that going forward. So again, the choices are Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, Toonstruck, and Professor Layton. So if one of my mods would be so kind as to do that, to link it to the straw poll, and then to link that to the next game command, that would be awesome. Thereby continuing to prove that you are the best mods in the business. Chaotix. Oh man, I'm so sorry, Chaotix. But wait, Chaotix. What if the Last Day of June gets played? No, wait for it on this. No, try not to have your mind blown. On the last day of June. In fact, is the last day of June a Tuesday? Is it? It's not. The last day of June is not a Tuesday. But what if I played it on like June 26th? It's like, right? You can't miss. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. Oh man. It's not, but you can. But I can still play it in June. It would set people up for the last day in June. That's funny. Okay. So while the mods are wrapping up with that stuff, Red Alert 2, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, I only know because I've seen a couple people playing it. Not long, but I saw people playing it. If it wins, Chaotix, if it wins, I am in the hands of chat. If it wins. And then Toonstruck, and then Professor Layton. Those are the 3. All right, sounds good. Thanks for stopping in, Carol. Pleasure to have you here. Glad you were able to join us today. Yeah, there we go. TNS, that's funny. Not even something to joke about. Good Lord. The last thing I need is computer malfunctions of any kind. All right, guys. So that is going to do it for me for today. And I think I might do like perhaps one of those automatic raid deals. And we'll see where what we've got. Because I am not going to have Pen and Pixels today. I am going to be heading off to a dentist appointment in a couple of hours, and I've actually got to get some other things ready. So I am going to be doing things like that as we go forward. Maybe I'll head over there to do that. Yeah, okay. I think we might do that. Oh, yeah, for sure, Genly. But the thing is that thank you so much, Dragon Spear. Chaotix chosen game of the month. You'll have to talk to the rest of chat about that, Chaotix. I love you, man. I love you, but... okay, so you guys can get your votes in there. That is the next game. Thank you very much for doing that, Dragon. And as far... Yeah, see you. Thanks, Alt. Thank you so much for stopping by as well. Genly, yeah, like, the way it works usually is I only play these for one session. Whoops, sorry. I just realized that I had my timer up there going. Whoopsie. I only play these for one session anyway. And so there's been a number of those games that I have played for longer. Like, for example, Sam & Max Hit the Road was a chosen game of the month. I played that longer. Portal, I played that and finished to completion. There were a few others, like 4 or 5 of those games. I think Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. There were a bunch of these games. I would say probably 50 to 60% of the chat chosen games. Loom, that was another one, that I ended up playing to completion. And then there's another ones that just don't click with me, or I don't want to play the entire game and I'll play it later or whatever. So most of these end up being sort of working out. There's a couple, maybe not so much, but enjoy having your face ripped out. Can't handle the tooth. Yeah, great. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. You guys are all heart. All right, so I'm going to stop our good friend Arvbot with thanks for his wonderful work. And that's enough out of Arvbot for today. Thank you, Arvbot. Okay. And that's going to do it for me. Now, I am going to be back at you guys, again, not later this afternoon, but I'm going to be back here on Friday, assuming that my tooth is still here. I'm going to be back here on Friday, and I am going to be back playing, we're going to be with my Masters of the Dungeon show. So if you want to see some people talking about dungeon mastering and all that kind of good stuff, you should stop by and check it out. I may play a little bit of Pool of Radiance, depending on how long the show goes. I might play an hour or two of Pool of Radiance after that's done. It kind of depends on my workload and other stuff. But that will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be playing Masters. I'll be talking with Will from Encounter Roleplay, with Dave from the Digital DM, and Askren from Exploding Dice. All three of those wonderful DMs and gentlemen will be joining me, and we'll be hanging out and chatting about many dungeon and game mastering tips and tricks, and talking about various topics germane to role-playing games. And then, as I say, I might play something in the evening for an hour or two. Then on Saturday... Okay, sounds good. I'll do that, Chaotix. Then on Saturday, I'll be back with you guys with Infinity and Beyond D&D. We'll be continuing with The Rise of Tiamat. That's my high-level campaign. Some really big moments come up. We should have a full crew for both the 17th and the 24th. So I am excited, and I hope you guys are as well. I am very much looking forward to seeing how things happen as we move forward with stuff. I'm looking forward to that. Why is my webcam doing that? Please stop doing that, webcam. Please stop adding in random filters for no reason. I would like you please to stop, and I think the reason is that you're probably doing something like this. Please don't do that. The reason that's happening, that's not what I meant to do. That's way too red. That's not what I meant. Not what I meant. Give me just a second. Hold on a minute. Almost right. Let's drop that a little more. That is more like it. There you go. Sorry about that. So yes, that's going to be good times. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. Thanks so much as well for bearing with me. I'm sorry that we had the change in schedule today, but I'm glad that we got a chance to play through and win Lone Wolf. So I think it worked out. In the end, it's all going to work out. The sun is shining, so I can just tell. But that's going to do it for me. Genly, that will be happening next month. That is D&D with viewers. I have no date at all, though, registered for that, to be honest with you. I have no idea. That is... I haven't even thought about scheduling for April. April is going to be a busy, busy month, but I am going to do the best I can. So, no, I do not have anything set for that yet. My guess is probably mid-April, but we'll see. I'm going to be in Seattle first part of the month. I'm going to be in Seattle for like a week. I'm probably going to be using ARVBox out there. Then I'm going to be coming back from Seattle. I'm going to be teaching a couple of classes. Then I have to fly right back out to the West Coast because our friend Russ from the Our Vocalist is getting married, and I am a groomsman in his wedding. So my daughter and I are flying back out to California that weekend. And then when we get back from that, then things will settle down a bit, except that it's closing towards the end of my semester. So we've got a lot of that stuff going on. The other thing I want to mention, by the way, I don't want to talk about anything specific, but I do want to say that there are plans in the works where you guys are going to get to know some people that are very important to this channel, and that are going to be very important also to certain aspects of my writing career. And you're going to get a chance to meet those people very soon. And I'm going to have several announcements about publishing stuff with me soon, which I am very excited to talk to you about. I can't do it yet, but it's going to be coming very soon. So I want you all to be aware of that because it's going to be good times. I cannot wait to reveal all that stuff. So that's it for me. Your stream is red. I just come in when the stream starts. Oh, well, you can see it, Tobik. If you just type in !calendar, you can see that. So anyway, but I'm going to get on out of here because I got to get ready for stuff. I got to go talk to Chaotix on Discord, and then I got to go get ready for my dentist appointment. Wish me luck. My dentist appointment. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. This was a great time. I had a wonderful time, as always, with all of you. And I hope you guys had a wonderful time as well. But I'm going to leave you guys now. We are going to do a raid afterwards, so stick around for that. It's going to be an automatic raid, so to speak. Send me something on Twitter. Okay, sounds cool. Thanks, man. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Chaotix, Dragonspear, and JRab. Thank you to my wonderful subscribers, Chaotix, Dragonspear, JRab, EMC, Genly, Tobik, and Uncle Elias. Thanks as well to all those who support my Patreon that don't necessarily show up on the list, but that are really big, really super important people like Chaotix, etc. A lot of people who support my Patreon, Jay and Dragon, and a bunch of others. So thank you guys so, so much. Thank you as well to Alt0782. Thank you to Ashera, to Callisti, and GC, Celestian, sorry. Thank you to ECAG, Electrical Skateboard. Thank you to 5x9, Jagdris Masawa, TNS, Trendane, of course, Hugh Christensen, and Vela. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you for all those of you who followed today. Thank you to those of you who are re-upping with subs. Again, the ways to support the channel, you know how to do it. YouTube with !ArvTube, Discord with !ArvCord, Twitter with !ArvTweets. Don't forget about the shop with Infinity and Beyond merchandise, soon to be other merchandise, !ArvShop, and of course the Patreon, !ArvTreon, and the sub button, which is that purple button right above the sub window. That also is there as well. So thanks, everybody. Love you all. You're the best viewers on Twitch, and I will see all of you wonderful people soon. We are going to go over, by the way, we're going to raid GOG.com, but we're going to do this after, as I say, the stream. So go ahead and watch the outro, and then at the end of it, I will automatically send us over with the power of auto raid. That's it for me. Thanks, guys. Love you all, and I will catch all of you people in a few days at the end of the week. Until then, for Sommerland, we have passed Fire on the Water. Next step is Caverns of Kalte, which we will do next month. But D&D coming up this weekend. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Have a good day. Fresh and new, when it all seemed clear to you, when your aim was straight and true. Were your mind untroubled by the questions in the dark, content to play your part, open pathways to your heart? Were your life untainted by a host of broken dreams, when all your acts were queens, understood all that it means? Could you have understood the way your life was bound? Did you ever wonder how you got from there to now? Oh, yes, you're gonna fly away from here, where the sky grows more clear, and your problems disappear, drift away down below. Watch them go down to your friends, where the trouble never ends, and there's always just one more day left to go. Now through your pile of broken lies and your set of fake goodbyes, another cynical disguise. When will they catch you? All those little things you said, will it turn around instead? Blame the voices in your head. With all your subtle language, try and turn your life around. If your center gets unwound, you do your best to slow things down. And if you feel things that you never felt before, that shook you to your core, a shattered truth you